Lunchtime whistle and the morning's finally done. I'm jumping in my car, I'm gonna have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station I don't understand, 'cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
It must be Wednesday. I called it hump day.
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is?
Hump day.
Guess what day it is?
Hump day.
Huh? Anybody? Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Hump day.
Let's guess what today is.
Hump day!
Woo-hoo!
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Hump Day in the Doghouse. I am your host, Thom Abraham. So glad that you are here for this 2-hour exercise in radio excellence. Plenty of midweek minutia to get into the show today. And look, not only on this past week in the NFL, but a bunch of college stuff to get to as well. Plus on Alabama, Tennessee this week, and some other SEC things. Although it's a light schedule in the SEC. Have you noticed how light a schedule it is in the SEC? It's a light schedule in the SEC this week. It really is. I mean, we're all focused on, Alabama and Tennessee and then Auburn and Ole Miss. But for the most part, it's a very light schedule. So we'll get into all of that. That Auburn-Ole Miss game, by the way, that game is holding at Ole Miss -6.5. Feels a bit light, doesn't it? I mean, could we have a moto situation brewing there? A master of the obvious where the line seems to be a little lighter than maybe it should be? It kind of feels that way to me. I'm not 100% sure. And Tennessee getting 8.5 to 9 in Tuscaloosa, doesn't that seem a hair rich? These two defenses that are playing so well this year, neither offense really is dynamic. Doesn't that seem a hair rich? But look, don't listen to me when it comes to Alabama game. I mean, I've been way off on the Tide all season long. I think the only game I got right with them was the State game. I'm pretty sure that's the case. I mean, we've picked every Alabama game this season. I think the only one I got right was the Mississippi State game with them covering there. Jimmy Stein from Bama Online is coming up in a few minutes to break down this week's game for us. By the way, I need to vent here a bit. Tommy Rees has been a friggin' pinata this season for fans and scribes alike. And I, too, have been critical of the young offensive coordinator. But you know what? At least I can spell a kid's name. It's Rees. That's it. And it's never right. In all of these, yes, thank you. It's never right. In all of these posts from the armchair quarterbacks out there who know so much more than he does, it's not Reese. It's not Reece. He's not a freaking Reese's Pieces. It's not Rece. That's Alabama alum Reese Davis. For God's sakes, if you're going to slam this guy, spell his name right. It's Rees. It's really Rees. It's Tommy Rees. It's not Tommy Reese. It's not Tommy Reese Davis. It's not Tommy Reese's Pieces. It's Tommy Rees. That's it. I immediately discount any post that begins by spelling his name wrong.
And they call me stupid.
I mean, come on. Spell the kid's name right.
Get off my lawn.
This is stupid.
It's not very hard. I mean, have you ever seen the kid's name written? Ever? The kid was a quarterback at Notre Dame, for God's sake. Spell his name right. All right. In other news, there's a rumor that the MLB playoffs are still on. Is that right?
Oh, my God. Who the hell cares?
Last night, the Phillies blasted the D-backs to take a 2-0 lead in that series. And if you're wondering, remember we speculated about this. Monday night, the Cowboys-Chargers on ABC and ESPN, just shy of 20 million viewers. While the NLCS Game 1 on TBS and True TV and the MLB Network pulled a paltry 3.83 million. 20 million for Monday Night Football, mid-season game. 3.83 million for the National League Championship Series. What in the hell is the NLCS doing on TBS? Among other things. I mean, what a disservice to Major League Baseball. I don't care what they paid. You got to go to True TV had 57,000 viewers. The MLB Network had 55,000 viewers. TBS had 3.7 million, 3.8 million. What are you doing? I mean, you got to be kidding me. What are you doing? Now, on Sunday, the ALCS Game 1 had 7 million viewers on Fox. But keep in mind, that was right after 26 million people watched the Eagles-Jets game, which was the biggest NFL audience of the season. Not a Sunday night game, not a Monday night game, but a Sunday afternoon game. The late game on Fox between the Eagles and the Jets pulled 26 million viewers, and 7 million hung around to watch the baseball game. In fact, the Sunday night game between the Giants and the Bills, that drew a season-low 16 million on NBC with the ALCS Game 1 on Fox. And I don't know how much of that had to do with it. To be honest, really? I mean, how many people were going to watch the Bills and the Giants? We're talking about New York City here. I know the Bills make me want to shout, but we're talking about the G-men here. Big Blue. So how many people I was going to watch the Bills and the Giants, but, you know, the ALCS or the NLCS, the ALCS was over there on Fox. I don't know that it's a shared audience. I really don't. Now, the most watched college game of the weekend was the Oregon-Washington thriller with a little over 7 million. So let me just put that in perspective. More people are watching college football than are watching the ALCS or the NLCS. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Halfway through the season, regular season game, Pac-12, 1 million games on. Not like the only college football game of the day. It was one of the games, the Oregon-Washington game. 7 million people. More people watching that game while there are 40 other games on. More people were watching that one game than are watching the ALCS or the NLCS. It was the 11th game this season with an audience of more than 7 million. And we're at just the halfway point of the season. Last year, there was a total of 10 regular season games that had a minimum of 7 million people watching them. USC Notre Dame was second this past weekend, with Tennessee and Texas A&M on CBS third at 4.38 million. Last year in the same time slot on the same weekend, Tennessee, Alabama had 11.5 million. This year, Tennessee, Texas A&M, 4.38 million. Well, part of that was 7 million were watching the Oregon-Washington game. It'll be interesting. I mean, that would be the biggest audience of the year this year so far. Nobody's watched 11.5 million people have not watched any one game this year. That would be the biggest audience of the season. It'll be interesting to see if they can pull something like that this week. The main competition on Saturday for the Alabama-Tennessee game comes from ABC with Washington State at Oregon. Cougars and Beavers is going to be a distant second to Vols and Tide. The question is, how many will watch the Vols and the Tide? Now, at the top of the one, David Moulton of the SEC on CBS and Monday Night Football is back. I'm sure he has thoughts on all of that data, plus the Tide and the Vols this week as he prepares for the game. He stands side by each with Gary Danielson, gives him all those little tidbits and stuff. I said it yesterday. I'll say it again today. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. David also stands between those guys. Well, basically with Troy. Stands with Troy, and he is Troy's spotter, information guy, stats guy. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman have distanced themselves from the rest of the field. I'm not pandering to my good friend David Moulton. Not at all. But they have distanced themselves from the rest of the field as the best in the business, as far as I'm concerned. They were just so entertaining on Monday night. So entertaining. All right, your phone lines are open at 256-576-4977. Text the show at 732-9TA-SHOW. That's 732-982-7469. Use that throughout the 2 hours of the show. We'll read and react to those on the air. My personal X feed is at Thom Abraham Show. The station's feed is at 97.7 ESPN. You can watch the show there on both of those X feeds. You can watch it on the YouTube channel, WZZN TV. All you got to do is go to Facebook at 97.7 ESPN, and there's a link there to WZZN TV's YouTube page, and go check that out. Get the app. You're going to need the app. We got a bunch of games coming up on Friday night. So you're going to want to have the app. All right, over there in that little glass room, playing the Platters That Matter and the Stacks of Wax and answering the phones, keeping us on the air, not watching the baseball. It's DJ Grizzly Grizz.
Who in the blue hell are you? What is your name? Detective. It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. That Tom. Hey, Tom.
Testosterone high today. Testosterone, whatever the it is.
It really doesn't matter what you think. All right? It really doesn't matter what you say.
Any of you play sports?
Grizz, we got to clean up a little piece of business here, okay? Because I just took a call at the text window. And again, sometimes people get confused with that.
Yeah, that's kind of rough.
You call 256-576-4977. That's the number you call to get on a radio show. 256-576-4977. If you want to just text the show and have me read your comments on the air, then you use the text window, which is 732-982-7469. That is exclusive to the Thom Abraham Show. 7329TA-SHOW for the last.
Yeah. I don't know why they don't call the Neighbors Wealth Management hotline at 256-576-4977 because we have Ray Dog and the Phillip on hold behind me.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
That's the easy way to do it. You don't have to call the text line. You can call.
Some people like to call the text
number.
line,
You know,
it's
not hard. It's not hard.
Might be a first time.
There's nothing going on for me right now, so I could care less about sports right now. Until football this weekend's back on, I'm not. Yeah. There's nothing going on this week. Yeah.
What do you mean there's nothing going on this week?
There's hockey. There's baseball.
Between the football?
Yeah.
There was college football last night. You could have watched Jacksonville State beating Western Kentucky.
I really did it.
Gamecocks. There. I mean, okay, you could have watched South Alabama eviscerate Southern Miss.
I just did not choose to really watch any TV last night, to be honest with you. That's for the first time in my life. I didn't watch any. It was actually kind of relaxing.
I watched a couple of shows with the wife.
Yeah.
And then I jumped into the Preds game against
the
Edmonton Oilers. The Oil hammered the Preds there. Watched that for about a period. And then I watched YouTube videos about the Browns beating the 49ers because I can't get enough of it. I just can't get enough of it. By the way, did you see in the Jack State the South Alabama game? South Alabama against Southern Miss. South Alabama outgained Southern Miss 647 yards to 149. Is that a lot?
That's a lot to a little. That's for sure. That's pure dominance.
Somebody by 500 yards, is that a lot?
That's a lot to a little.
I'm not 100% sure.
You beat somebody up like that. That's bad. These people are running after that game.
Harry wants to know, why isn't your show available on the TuneIn app anymore, according to my Alexa?
I don't know.
That shouldn't be, Harry. It should be. You should be able to say to Alexa, Alexa, 97.7 ESPN.
And I wonder if that was Harry before.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Someone asked me about that, too, and I don't know if that was Harry before, saying that, when you say it, they can't get it, or the TuneIn app obviously doesn't have it anymore, but I'm just like, why don't you just download our app?
Why doesn't the TuneIn app have it anymore?
No idea. I mean, that's not our app.
Well, you said obviously. I mean,
because before
we were on TuneIn.
Before we had an app and everything like that, that's kind of how I could get us too. So when I went to Houston in 19, I listened to the station on that app. So
yeah, we've always been on the TuneIn app. I don't know why we would be, because that's what drives the Alexa is the TuneIn app. So we need to make sure we. All right, make a note, Grizz. We need to make a note.
Maybe they're not
the
saying what is WZZN
we need to get
or
back on the.
97.7.
No, I don't think it used to be just 97.7 ESPN. If the problem isn't the Alexa, the problem is the TuneIn app. So what we need to do is make sure we get back on that. We'll have our social media people get us back on there. Make a note, Grizz. Just make a note. All right, we'll get it taken care of, Harry. I don't know why that is. I can't tell you why that is. I would think that it would be the same thing that feeds everything, like the Philip who's listening online in Virginia.
Well, I think the Philip listens on Facebook, but I think he uses the app too.
Yeah,
but he uses our app, I think.
I don't know. All right, let me get Ray Dog in here. Ray Dog, welcome to the show. What's going on?
Not much. How you doing?
Fantastic.
I appreciate the email you sent me earlier. I don't know if you checked it and got my bounce back, but
I did. Congratulations on the engagement. Ray Dog is getting married. Now, does this mean? Yeah. Does this mean the end of your, divorced dad podcast thing or whatever it is that you were doing with that side? I mean, you're really not the divorced dad anymore when you're getting married to a new wife.
Well, technically, I am still a divorced dad because I have children with a woman from whom I'm divorced.
Yeah.
But
I don't know how the new wife would feel about you doing a divorced dad thing. Just me saying that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Anyway, in other news around the world, breaking news that you haven't gotten to yet in the NFL, somebody has just gotten an extension. It's Roger Goodell.
Yeah, that was this morning. Roger Goodell getting a 3-year extension, which is going to make the Philip very, very happy. He's a big Roger Goodell fan. I mean, he thinks that Roger Goodell's the best commissioner in all the sports, and certainly, he's done a wonderful job with the NFL, especially with the officiating in the NFL. Roger Goodell has a great grip on the officiating in the NFL. Is doing a great job making sure that there are 16 different surfaces that teams play on. Natural grass, bad grass, blended grass, and then 15 different styles of AstroTurf. So he's doing a wonderful job as the commissioner in the NFL. They should extend him. I think they should just give him a lifetime contract. That's what I think.
Well, I mean, I was wondering, and you can ask him, because I'll be off when you get to him, but you can ask him, does he appreciate Roger Goodell? Because in all things, he defers to what is best for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes. I mean, that's Roger Goodell's role in the NFL, and with the NFL is to make sure that the Dallas Cowboys remain competitive. Not that they win Super Bowls, because they can't get out of their own way. At some point in time, the Cowboys have to actually go out there and win the playoff games themselves. But Roger Goodell's single job, I mean, it's in the mandate. His job is to make sure that the Dallas Cowboys are in the running each and every year, because that drives the TV ratings. That's why there's TV ratings. They wouldn't have TV. Baseball would be getting higher TV ratings than the NFL if it weren't for the Dallas Cowboys.
Kyle Shanahan chokes Super Bowls.
Clearly, as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan myself, I very much appreciate that stance, because if you bring in more TV money, then the Glazers get a bigger check.
Yeah.
So, clearly the other franchises should be entirely grateful that Roger Goodell is making all the decisions that are in the best interest of the league.
They are. They're so that the Bucs can go out and get high-end quarterbacks like Baker Mayfield, and they wouldn't have the money to buy that guy.
Quarterback. I haven't really heard your take on the Caleb Williams demand for a percentage of a franchise to get drafted.
Yeah, I got that on my list of things. That doesn't happen. I mean, Jamarcus Russell's still waiting for his piece of the Raiders. That does not happen, okay? That's a players play, owners own. All right? That's the way this works. Players play and owners own, and owners give players grotesque amounts of money. And then when they bust, if they bust, like Tim Couch or Keely Smith, or the list goes on and on and on, like Jamarcus Russell or like Rick Myra or like Ryan Leaf. No, you don't get to be an owner of the team, Johnny Manziel. You
or
don't get to have
like Andrew Luck.
Yeah, or Andrew Luck, who decides to play for 5 years and then leave with his money. You don't get to have that piece of the team. Who knows what's going to... Anthony Richardson is now out for the year. Going to have shoulder surgery. Who knows what kind of career that kid's going to have. You don't get to have a piece of the team. You get paid, and then when you're done playing, you go home. And then you can buy into a team like Tom Brady if you want.
Fantastic. I'm going to get with you later, Tom. We'll have to figure out what your schedule looks like the next month and a half. Are you guys going to be doing Buckhorn basketball too?
We'll do at least 10 Buckhorn basketball games like we did last year.
For the number 3 recruit in the nation, Caleb Holt.
Yep. Wonderful
so
kid.
Maybe some people need to roll to Newmarket and see what greatness looks like.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
North Alabama is starting to get a national reputation now.
I was so afraid. He won our Rocket City Award last year for the Athlete of the Year. I was so afraid that he was going to leave and go to one of these, AAU places or one of these states now where the kid can get NIL money, or he was going to go like an IMG type play, but he didn't. He's got good parents. He's got solid stock, and he is right now. He's very happy being a Buckhorn Buck, and it'll be up to him to along with some other very good returning players to see if Buckhorn can win a second straight state championship.
That's it. We're gonna have to get together so you and the JYB can meet the fiance, and we'll go from there.
All right, sounds good. 2 remotes next week.
Get you, man.
All right, appreciate you. 2 remotes next week at the Tom Abraham Show. We'll be on location at Baumhauer's on Tuesday and Corjalejos Mexican Grill on Thursday. So anybody wants to come out, see me, 2 remotes next week. Thursday, I got a good feeling that the JYB will be showing up Thursday at Corjalejos because Thursday she has Bible study in Madison, Alabama with my daughter Kelly. And so her Bible study gets done around noonish, 12:15, something like that. And I got a feeling that she'll slide over. So if you guys want to come and see her, I know Wolverine Dan and a couple others were at the show last time we were at Corjalejos and sat down with her and had lunch. Let me get Philip in here. Philip, welcome to the show. How are you?
Disappointed.
Wait, before you tell me why you're disappointed, tell me how you listen to the show. How do you listen to the show? Do you listen on the app, or do you listen on the Facebook, or the YouTube, or how do you listen to the show?
On the app thing.
On the app. Okay, so the app is fed by, I don't know what the app is fed by. I thought the app was fed by iTunes. I thought that's where the app pulled it from. So I don't know where the app pulls it from, Harry. But Harry, get the app. If you get the app, you listen to the show.
Just get the app.
Get the app, Harry. And
all
just
the zones
that way.
play this show right now.
Everything is on the app. Just get the app, Harry. Just go to your app store and download the app. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Philip. What are you disappointed in?
That the collective NFL ownership has extended the crookedest, most rigged commissioner in all of sports. It is disappointing. You can flaunt all these numbers you want to flaunt.
Yeah.
If your statement is true, if it is true that as many people watched that Bills Giants game, that's how many people saw a undefendable ending of a game by officials.
They never throw back-to-back PIs. You ever notice that? They never do. If you get pass interference on a dude on one play, they never call it on the next play because that was just as bad. That was Just as bad pass interference. It was a terrible call, too, play call. I mean, he should have ran it in. He should have just lined up and did the tush push and run it in.
Tom,
yeah.
I'm going to speak for myself. I want to watch the athletes settle the game.
So you don't want the call then?
Not
so you,
the officials.
You don't want to. So you don't want a PI call on that then? You're saying that wasn't interference when he grabbed the kid by the collar and didn't let him jump up to try and make a play on that ball?
No, it was complete total interference, which again goes to the athlete. That defensive athlete screwed up, and the refs, for some reason, I don't know why. Forget the refs. The NFL decided that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool.
They never call it. They never call it back to back. They never call it back to back. Yeah. But you think Goodell? You think like Goodell's on the phone with the official and say, "Look, they're going to mug him on this play. Don't call the interference." I'm Roger Goodell. I'm telling you right now, do not call that interference. You know who loves Roger Goodell? Jerry Jones. Loves him. You know how much money Roger Goodell has made for Jerry Jones? Roger Goodell has made Jerry Jones 4 generations worth of money. Your guy loves him.
Well, he's not the sharpest pencil in the drawer.
Jerry? There's a rumor out there, that Jerry doesn't make the picks anymore. Jerry always talks about him being the general manager of the Cowboys. The rumor is that Steven is now making all the selections, by the way. I don't know if you know that.
Well, now there is a huge controversy that I'm in the middle of, believe it or not, about Jimmy Johnson being inducted into the Dallas Cowboys Ring of Honor. I say no.
What? I thought he was. I thought they put him. I thought they put him in there after he went into the Hall of Fame.
No.
They didn't put him in there? Oh, come on. No. I don't care if he was there for 2 years. He won 2 Super Bowls. He won as many Super Bowls. He won as many Super Bowls as Tom Landry.
The Dallas Cowboys Ring of Honor is a more prestigious and honorable award than the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That Ring of Honor is something special.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. You not only, it ain't like he was there 5 years, he won 2 Super Bowls, and he dropped dead.
Yeah.
No, he was there 5 years, won 2 Super Bowls, and walked away. That is not Dallas Cowboys Ring of Honor worthy.
But Troy Aikman thinks he should be in the Dallas Cowboys Ring of Honor.
Well, Troy Aikman was there a long time.
But Troy thinks that
that they won 3 Super Bowls.
But Troy thinks that Jimmy Johnson should be in the Ring of Honor. So I mean, if Troy thinks he should be there, don't we go with that?
Disagree with Troy. If that's
oh my gosh!
Know that that's it. I know that Troy greatly appreciated. And if you would watch,
what do you mean you disagree with Troy? Are you kidding me?
I've not heard Troy say that Jimmy Johnson belongs in the Ring of Honor. I've heard Troy say how much Jimmy Johnson meant to that team. And if you would watch that freaking YouTube video that I sent you, you would see him praise and talk about what happened to that team after Jimmy left. How Troy had to become the bad guy. Where
he didn't
Jimmy
like
was
that.
there, Jimmy was the bad guy. And Troy was just like, okay, guys, forget what he just said. Let's have a good practice. Let's go. And then he had to change it. He had to change his entire way of being the leader. Because, what's his name? Switzer, was like, yo, guy, y'all go do whatever you want to do. So Troy had to become the bad guy. If you would watch that freaking video that I sent you, dude, I'm telling you, it is so fascinating. The in-depthness of it is just
I'm going to watch it tonight. I'm going to watch it tonight on YouTube when my wife goes to sleep. All right, Philip, thanks for the call. I got a jet. Shane in Decatur. Shane in Decatur says, I rarely agree with the Philip, but I do agree that Goodell is trash and needs to go to a remote island somewhere and never be heard from again. Well, it's not going to happen for at least 3 more years. All right, we'll get a break. When we come back, Jimmy Stein talks Bama next on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Have a drink at the Open Bottle, a copious selection of wine, spirits, and craft beer from around the world. They've got a full bar, wine by the glass, craft cocktails, premium bourbon, 48 specialty beers on tap, and a smart staff with hustle. There's an expansive, comfortable patio with a brand new performance stage and live music every night from local artists like Lamont Landers, Rob Aldridge, and James Irvin. There's space for your next celebration or corporate event. The Open Bottle on Highway 72 near Slaughter Road intersection in Madison.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you